BBC One, your news and views in Look East with Kim Riley and Penny Bustin.
In Look East tonight, unobtainable, why an entire telephone system crashed.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's Look East. Later in the programme, the coaches searching for the athletic stars of the future.
First tonight, though, for the second time in a week, an investigation's underway into a power cut which caused havoc to tens of thousands of telephone lines. Last Thursday, a fault at the Norwich Exchange caused problems for thousands of people with particular numbers. But this latest incident was far more serious. Even emergency 999 calls were affected as engineers from British Telecom tried to sort out the problem which hit customers throughout Bedfordshire, Milton Keynes and North Hertfordshire yesterday afternoon.
An impromptu fire drill at Bedfordshire Police Headquarters this afternoon signalled the return of the 999 service. It was somewhat different 24 hours earlier. Many telephone lines went down for up to 7 hours because of a transmitter fault. Lines into emergency control rooms were seriously affected. Bedfordshire Fire Service had a number of people run into one of their stations because they couldn't get through on the phone.
We had 2 appliances out who were actually mobile at the time. They then went to neighbouring stations to let the stations know that they had to maintain radio contact with control, so we could then notify them of fire calls as we received them.
Unless you use a pigeon, I suppose there's not a lot you can do, because we rely on the telephone line, and once that crashes, then that's out of our hands.
The problem centred on a transmitter repeater station, which links telephone exchanges in Luton. Just after midday yesterday, the power supply failed. This affected tens of thousands of phone lines in Luton and surrounding towns.
The blood-stained body of a young man has been discovered by...
The power failure also put BBC Three Counties radio out of action, and it meant the emergency services couldn't even resort to using local radio to broadcast a warning. Computer links died, and out-of-order tones were faced for up to 9 hours by many phone users.
No matter how carefully you design a network, we have an awful lot of redundancy built into ours. They're always going to find a weak link somewhere along the line. All we can do from this failure is to find out what did happen and do our best to make sure it didn't happen again.
The full extent of the situation is still being assessed. It's not yet known how many companies were affected, and the precise cause of the power failure still hasn't been found. Nick Horrell, Look East, Luton.